It's June 24th, 2026, and last night, while we were all sleeping, Ukrainian drones flew over 700 miles across Russian airspace, deeper into Russia than any strike in this war, and set two of the most military important industrial facilities in the entire Russian Federation on fire. No GPS, no radio link, no pilot, just a machine, a mission, and a target. Basically a Terminator brain inside of these drones.
Trust me.
And here's what burned right here. This is from NASA firms that can monitor heat coming from these exact locations. And then this image right here is the actual factory itself, showing it ablaze. It's the Orenburg gas processing plant, one of the largest gas chemical complexes on all of the earth. This single facility processes 60% of gas that's handled in Russia. It also produces sulfur, and sulfur, if you're wondering why that matters, is a primary raw material in Russian explosives and black powder manufacturing. So their war machine, one of the main factories in that war machine, was just crushed by Terminator drones from Ukraine. And Russia is trying to bury it. They're saying that any footage in the area, there will be massive consequences to any civilians that are seen filming this burning plant, because that plant directly feeds Russia's war machine. And then right next to that, Russia's only helium plant was hit as well. And why was this a legitimate military target? Because this isn't just about party balloons. This isn't about Putin getting his next party set up at his palace. Helium is a gas that pressurizes the fuel tanks in Russian liquid-propellant rocket engines. It goes into the gyroscopes, cooling systems, and Russia's missile guidance sensors. This is strategic, guys. It's used in the inert atmosphere welding that manufactures precision missile components. Russia has one facility in the entire country that produces it, this one, and last night it was on fire. 700 miles from the Ukrainian border, about 1,500 kilometers. Russia's defense ministry said they intercepted 323 Ukrainian drones overnight. I mean, I can't believe that this doesn't get more press. The plant is still burning right now, but it doesn't get a lot of press on other places in corporate media, but that's why we have these conversations, isn't it? But here's what is legitimately insane. The drone navigated those 1,500 kilometers through Russian airspace with no GPS, no operator, threading air defense systems in the dark. Its navigation system is a direct descendant of technology that Ukraine tested in secret 2 years ago, and the world didn't even find out about that until this month. It just broke this month. So Ukraine didn't just hit a gas plant last night. They demonstrated that the autonomous AI brain that they've been developing since 2024 can now reach any target in Russia. I mean, this is just wild. No human required. Russia is calling this a provocation, obviously. Putin's spokesman says Moscow will respond, as they do. The Orenburg airport is shut down, and Ukraine's special operations forces are already on record about who helped them find the target. So stay to the very end of the video, because we're going to break down this full operation. So Ukraine sent in their drones, crushing one of the most strategic factories for all of Russia's war machine. And Russia's like, oh, no, that's just for our party balloons. So let's take a step back and let's talk about the units that are responsible for making this happen. Ukraine's Special Operations Deep Strike units launched this drone attack, and they're the ones that are responsible for the massive drone attacks that we've recently been seeing in Russia. The mission was coordinated with Cherchna Iskra, Black Spark, an underground resistance network operating inside Russian territory. This is just wild. Ukraine's general staff confirmed the strike this morning. NASA firms that we just looked at, the satellite thermal images confirmed the fires. So as you can see, these factories are incredibly strategically important to the Russian war machine. Russian ballistic missiles, they don't have a backup facility. So Ukraine didn't pick this target randomly. The special operators doing these deep strikes are basically playing 4D chess with the way that they're operating these drones. This was a deliberate strike on the supply chain that keeps Russian missiles flying. And yeah, this wasn't their first visit. Ukraine hit the same complex back in October of 2025. They assessed the damage, refined the approach, and came back with a bigger hammer, or a bigger Terminator drone in this case. And they came in with their second visit, and looks like Russia still didn't change their locks. But let's talk about the tactical problem here. So from the F-15E cockpit, thinking about going in 750 miles, the deep strikes into Iran, that's a massive distance. So that's basically New York to Miami, except instead of flying over American highways, these drones flew through Russian radar coverage, through layers of electronic warfare jamming, through air defense networks that Russia has been hardening over 4+ years of war, and they hit a specific industrial complex in the dark. The reason they made it is the same reason the Terminator drones worked near Bakhmut in 2024. They don't need a signal. It's just incredible technology. Ukraine's long-range strike drones navigate using optical flow and visual terrain matching algorithms. The drone has a preloaded terrain map. Its camera reads the ground in real time, compares what it sees to what the map says it should see, and corrects its course autonomously. Russian GPS jamming, which has degraded Ukraine's older FPV drones over the course of 2 years, can't touch a drone that doesn't use GPS. Russian radio frequency jamming can't touch a drone with no active radio link. The drone is functionally invisible to every countermeasure Russia has spent 2 years optimizing. It just keeps going and keeps flying. Basically, the Terminator brain doesn't stop. Come with me if you want to live is basically the statement that should be painted across these drones. Or come with me if you want your helium factory to be blown up would be more appropriate in this instance. But here's some of the history. Back in 2024, on an undisclosed stretch of Bakhmut, Ukrainian drone manufacturer Aerocenter ran the first confirmed autonomous AI combat engagement in history. 10 quadcopter drones were sent into a target area with a single instruction: find anything that moves and engage it. No operator, no signal, no video feed, no human in the loop at any point. Manufacturer Alexander Kozovsky described it after the fact. He said, "We just launched it and we know everything will be gone. There is no connection to the drone at all. You can't see the video, nothing." And that was just released in 2026, the actual quote. 2 Russian soldiers and a vehicle completely destroyed. The machine decided entirely on its own, and the world didn't find out about it until this month, 2 years after it happened. The Terminator project hit real limitations at short range, 3 to 5 kilometers or so. It was first a quadcopter platform sensitive to some battlefield jamming or noise, but the brain, the core logic, it didn't stall. And in my opinion, that kept developing. So Ukraine hasn't confirmed the exact AI brain system used in these Orenburg drone strikes as of last night. The Terminator brain, Aerocenter's autonomous machine vision AI, didn't actually power last night's Orenburg strikes. Ukraine's special operations forces haven't confirmed the specific navigation systems on these drones that hit Orenburg. But from an engineer's perspective, a fighter pilot's perspective, the fingerprints to me look identical, and here's why. Both systems share the same core architecture: machine vision that reads the environment in real time, makes autonomous course corrections without a human signal, and operates in GPS denied and communications jammed conditions. The Terminator quadcopters did this over the 3 to 5 kilometers. Last night's drone did it over 1,500. So maybe not a different technology, maybe similar technology, just with a larger fuel tank and a longer strike distance. The honest framing here is whether it's Aerocenter's specific code base or a parallel Ukrainian development. The operational logic looks to be the same brain. Ukraine has taken the autonomous target recognition and navigation system that made the target strikes in Bakhmut possible in 2024, and it looks like they've increased the range massively. And then it leads us into what's actually going on within Ukraine's special drone forces. Their deep strike drone forces have an incredible project that's going on right now, and it's called Trophy Lab. And here's more that you won't hear in the corporate media. 5 days before the Orenburg strike on June 19th, Ukrainian Defense Minister Fedorov launched Trophy Lab, a vetted access platform giving allied governments and NATO defense manufacturers direct access to over 115 captured Russian weapon systems across 79 different categories. Backed by 225 technical research papers, the catalog includes Russian UAVs, missiles, electronic warfare platforms, the whole 9 yards. The Shahid autopilot architecture, the thing that runs those nefarious Dorito-shaped drones that Russia and Iran share the technology on, and the Kinzhal hypersonic missile, the one that Ukraine brought down in 2023. Verified users can request physical hardware for full disassembly and testing. So think about what that means for autonomous drone development. If you can know what Russia is using to target these drones, then you can just reverse engineer drones that can't be targeted by that actual technology. So when Ukrainian engineers understand exactly how Russian electronic warfare systems attempt to jam autonomous navigation, because they've actually got their hands on and disassembled the actual hardware screw by screw, they write the software that routes around the traffic jam. That's basically how this all works. So Trophy Lab might be why the brain kept getting smarter and better. So Orenburg was just the exam, and it looks like Ukraine's drones basically aced the test. But the most dangerous part of any strike mission is always the ingress through contested airspace. You're running electronic countermeasures, you're terrain masking, you're counting on the seed package to suppress air defenses before you even get there. What Ukraine has figured out here is how to make the ingress problem disappear entirely. You can't detect a drone that emits no signal. You can't jam a drone with no radio link. Against a drone flying terrain masked at low altitude with no electronic emission, Russia's air defense is trying to find something that isn't advertised as existing, that doesn't even seem to exist to any military system. So 700 miles plus into Russian territory, and the only defense is visual acquisition or proximity fusing. They didn't have either of those to protect these different factories. No signal, no pilot, no mercy, just 700 miles and then victory. But Russia's air defenses aren't nothing, but they're not really built for this at all. And this is likely why we don't see the two air forces going into each other's countries to try to battle it out there. Because remember, Russia's got a layered air defense, S-400, S-300, Panzer, S-1s. They're more focused on those big, larger weapons, the big, larger rockets. We've seen them try to intercept drones with that. And recently, they actually blew the top off of one of their oil tanks accidentally by launching one of their anti-drone rockets, potentially from a Panzer, going up, missing the drone, and then blowing up the actual oil tank. I mean, it's just wild to see that. This is the technology that they're dealing with. But the rhetoric is at level 11. Their air defenses seem to be at about a solid D-, where their rhetoric is reaching, a solid B+, A-, because Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Moscow will respond to what he called Ukrainian provocations on Russian territory. Orenburg governor also confirmed the attack, but was careful not to confirm the extent of the damage because, again, Russia doesn't want to show any weakness, with the rumor that some negotiations could start to take place again, with Putin saying he wants to come to the table, but kind of a snowball's chance in hell that he might actually mean it. He said this before, and he doesn't actually come to the table. But at this point, Russia wants to look strong, but they're obviously kind of gritting their teeth because two of their largest war-making factories were just crushed. This is what really hurts them. And this moves us to the 40 chess strategic analysis section, because the majority of the 323 drone package didn't reach its target last night. Russia's layers defenses, their Panzer, their Taurus systems optimized for FPV threats, degraded Ukraine's volume strike strategy in real ways. Ukraine's long-range autonomy capability, though, avoided all of those different threats. So at this point, does Ukraine know, hey, we throw up a ton of these FPVs, a whole bunch of distraction drones, and then we focus on strategic targets at an exact location that Russia has no chance of taking down. So this isn't necessarily a knockout shot, but it's a body shot in a campaign that Ukraine is not letting up on at all. And the structural vulnerability here has been exposed, even though Russia is trying to hide everything. They're doing everything they can to keep this information from going out. So what do you guys think? Do you think we see more strikes like this against basically the heart of Moscow's war-making machine? I mean, Russia moved their air defenses to try to protect their factory, and they kind of forgot that Ukraine's drones are invisible to those air defenses. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and follow me on X, follow me on Instagram. Go ahead and watch this next video that pops up right here, and then pop over to Pepperbox. Pop over to Pepperbox. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. I've got exclusive content over there that you won't find anywhere else. And let me know if you enjoy me covering more of this Russia-Ukraine war. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is Ryan, also known as Max Afterburner, signing off.